First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahadash, Yahweh being the name of the Father, and Yahweh Shai being the name of the Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, this is correct terms of their names in Paleo Hebrew. I'm going to do a lesson on who is Esau, because the Bible, the scriptures mention Esau. But as of today, if you believe in the Bible, then if you say you believe in the Bible, then you have to believe that the Bible is still basically, it's legit. It's still things happening that the Bible says is going to happen. Things happen and things are going to happen. So, so who is Esau today? Because no one hears that name. I have, no one has, maybe now, recently, since the truth is coming out, people are hearing the name Esau, Edom, Israelites, everything's going back to the real terminology of the nations, You don't see in the Bible China, you don't see America, you don't see Russia, you don't see, Mexico, Peru. You don't see those names. You don't see those nations in the Bible, right? So where are they? Who changed these? Who changed the names of the nation, right? So-called white man, the European. That's who. They've been doing that since forever. They'll conquer, and they'll call them something else. So, these nations are still here today. They're just called by another byword, I guess, another name, another, title. If you get what I'm saying. So, with that being said, I'm going to get the first scripture, Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 4, verse 16. And it says, there is no end of all the people. So there is no end of all the people. That means people ain't going to go extinct. Like, there's always going to be that lineage, that nation still here till today, right? There is no end. These nations are still here. Because if you look in the Bible, you'll still see the word Rome. You'll still see Greek, right? And you still see Ethiopia. You still see them, and those names still are here today. So what happened with everybody else? Did everybody else just went extinct? Nah, they're still here. They're just called under another name. We're all still here. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them, right? Even the ones that have been before them, they're still here. They was called another name, right? They also that come after shall not rejoice in them. Them same people that was before, that didn't rejoice in the Son, the Hamashiach, the Son of the Father, Yahweh Shai, those same people that didn't rejoice in him back then are here today, still not rejoicing in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. So, wanted to bring the point there that there is no end of all the people. So we're all still here. So now, what are they called, right? Who is Esau? Because the scriptures describes Esau as the wicked, the border of the wicked, the basically God, Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, hates Esau. And we're gonna prove it through the Holy Spirit, through the scriptures, that this is true, right? Now, I want to get Genesis, because this right here is gonna bring a little clarity more. Genesis chapter 25, right? We're going to start at verse 20. Let me see. We're going to start at 22. No, 21, right? So we're going to go all the way down. We're going to read to 23. Now, and Isaac, this is Isaac, entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. She got pregnant. Rebekah. She got pregnant. Now, and the children struggled together within her. Now, struggled. she was having twins, right? And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? Why if this is a blessing, why is this happening? Right? Because Yahweh Bashim Yasher says she's gonna be blessed and conceive. So she's like, if this is a blessing, why are they struggling in my womb? Right? And we're gonna get that word what is it? Struggled. Okay? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Now, let me see. We're going to go to the blue letter. So this was Genesis, right? Genesis 25:23. And when days believe it fulfilled, Genesis. Okay, and the Lord said unto her. Right here. We're going to 22. Right? Genesis 25:22. We're looking at the Hebrew context now. Now, we're going to go to struggled. See, outline of biblical usage. The word is
Strong's H 7533. Ratsats.
You see, it's called rasas. Now, outline of biblical usage: to crush, oppress, to crush, get crushed, be crushed, to crush, oppress. You can see in the word oppress. To be crushed, be broken. You see, to grievously oppress, to crush each other. You see? All right. So that's what's going on in her womb, right? That's what's going on. That's what's going on in her womb. She said, the children struggle. They're in there fighting. Now, and she went to inquire of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. You see, there's 2 nations in her womb, even though they were born from the same father, right? How can there be 2 nations if they're brothers, right? We're gonna get that. We're gonna show you why the Lord said there's 2 nations in thy womb. Esau and Jacob are going to be the fathers of the nations. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. They're going to be separated from her bowels, right? That means they're going to become 2 separate nations. They're not going to be the same nation. Shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, right? And the elder shall serve the younger. Now who's the elder? The elder is gonna be Esau, right? And we're gonna prove that right now. Now, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. That's the first one. That's the elder, Esau. All right, now. He came out red. You see how they described his birth, because it was something different. He wasn't born like the rest of the people were born with melanated skin, because back then people were melanated. There was no loss of pigmentation yet. This was a mark, right? And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So he came out holding his elder brother's heel, and that's spiritual. That represents that he's going to pull Esau down, and he's coming to rule next, Jacob, right? Which is happening right now. You know, Jacob's descendants, the Israelites, are waking up, and Yahushua is soon to return to establish his kingdom, and he's going to pull down Esau's kingdom. He's going to take it down. It's the only way you can take over a kingdom. You can't ask. You know, it has to be war, because ain't no one going to give up their kingdom. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. You see, they didn't describe the birth of Jacob, because he was a normal birth. He was melanated. He was born of color, brown, dark brown, brown, melanated. But they describe Esau's birth as red and hairy as a garment. Now, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. You see that? Who likes to hunt right now? Really picture of it. What nation of people loves to go deer hunting? Since forever, deer hunting, wild boar hunting, just for fun, man. They like to do this shit. They'll go to Africa and hunt down lions, elephants. You get what I'm saying? They'll shoot. That's what they like doing. That's their trait. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw pottage, right? He was making some pottage. And Esau came from the field and he was faint. He was tired, hungry, you know. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. You see? And Jacob says, sell me this day thy birthright. So Esau sold Jacob his birthright. Remember, Esau is the oldest. He sold him his birthright for that red pottage. But you see, he called them Edom. That's why he's called Edom. So Esau is called Edom. Now, just wanted to bring that out so we don't get confused on the names and the lineage that's coming. Right? Okay. All right, we go to Genesis 36, verse 8. Now it says, I'm gonna go to 12. Now, this is gonna be crazy. Now, for their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers cannot bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau. Dwelt means what? Lived, right? Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. Now, if you look up Mount Seir, you're going to get that right now. I got Mount Seir. This is Mount Seir. You see Mount Seir? This is ancient. This is an ancient Mount. This is the ancient temple of Mount Seir. What other places look the same? Look, you got Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain, and the United States. You see how they all resemble the pillars and all of that? Why? Because these people know who they are. They're still taking these customs. That's why. So I just wanted to bring that out. Thought that was interesting. So now, here's going to come the part. Now, these are the names. We're in verse 10. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. So one of Esau's sons is Eliphaz. Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. Now, and the sons of Eliphaz. Now, Esau's son Eliphaz, which is his son, right? He gave Esau grandchildren, were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz, right? And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah's, Esau's wife. Now, let's look up that word Amalek, right? We're going to look up Amalek. We're going to look it up. So let's go. Amalek. 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 It says, Amalek, right here. We're going to read this right here. Amalek, it got all the ways you could say it in Hebrew and Arabic, okay, was a nation. Okay, Amalek was a nation described in the Hebrew Bible as a staunch enemy of the Israelites. And we're going to show why there was an enemy of the Israelites. Now remember, Amalek derives from Eliphaz, which Eliphaz derives from Esau. Amalek is basically Esau's grandson. So that will make him Esau, right? Now, was a nation described in the Hebrew Bible as a staunch enemy of the Israelites. The name Amalek can refer to the nation's founder, a grandson of Esau, his descendants, the Amalekites, or the territories of Amalek which they inhabited. You see? So let's look up Let's look up Amalek again. Let's get some images. We'll see what pops up. You see what pops up? This pops up. This is Amalek. That's Amalek right there. You know? These are the Amalekites. They derived from Esau, which that wouldn't make them Jacob's son. You know, so they wouldn't be Israelites. Let's keep going. There's more. Amalek. See, put Amalek, rabbi and tribe, Israel. See, these are Amaleks. These are Amalekites. These are Amalekites. These are fake Jews. They're not even real Jews. Because you can convert to a nation. You have to be born into that bloodline. So if Amalek is the son of Esau and not the son of Jacob, because remember in Genesis 25, the Lord described there's 2 nations in your womb. All right? I don't want to talk too much and get too complicated, because I know it could get real complicated. But long story short, these are the Amalek. These are the Amalekites. They derived from Esau. Long story short, right? Not from Jacob. So that wouldn't make them the true Israelites. Now, let me get in Exodus chapter 17. Exodus chapter 17, verse 14, right? It says, now, this is after now. Remember, this is all after now, after the birth. We're like 3 books into the, this is way after Genesis. It says, and the Lord Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. You see that? So that's trying to say he is going to wipe them out. The Lord Yahweh doesn't like Amalek. Why? Because he derives from Esau. Esau is the wicked, and we're gonna show you why. The Lord knows all these things already. He knows why. So, and as we get deeper in the scriptures, more and more verses come out. Things are gonna, it's gonna wrap around, and everything's gonna come to light. For those who have ears to hear, eyes to see, right? So, and the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. He wants to wipe them out, and he's gonna wipe them out. Now, we're gonna go into another one to show that the Lord does not deal with these people. And watch what happens in 1 Samuel, King Saul, right? Remember, he gave King Saul an order, a commandment. He commanded him to destroy these people, to put them out, extinct, like to basically wipe out all of them. See, that's another. This is crazy, because in the churches they don't even talk about this. They don't talk about who is who. They don't talk about this. What God are they talking about in the church? It ain't this God from the Bible. They're talking about some other God, or all loving God, like basically faggot, straight up like that. Because the God from the Bible, he is nothing like the God that they preach in the churches. Nothing like that. Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is to be feared. He is a man of war. He is the Almighty. He is love and hate. He is just, righteous. He is everything, right? But let me get 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 8. Now, we're gonna go a little bit to get some context, right? To know what it's talking about. Now, so, and then we'll get to the point, which is in verse 8. Now, we're going to start verse 2. Samuel told Saul this, right? Let's start at verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now remember, this is who he's saying about to be king over his people Israel. So if the Amalekites are Israel, why would he send him to wipe out his own people, right? We're going to get that. Now therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Amalek did Israel dirty. Now, and the Lord remembers that. When you mess with the Lord's people, you're not going to get away with it. It's as simple as that. Now go. This is what he's telling Saul, the Lord, through the mouth of Samuel. Now go and smite Amalek. I mean, let's get the word smite, just in case if no one knows what it means, Smite. To hit, strike, beat, smitten, which however is attested only as to daub, smear, short, pollute, blemish, defile, blemish, that's what, but we're gonna keep going. Slay, sense, this is says sense of slay in combat, right here. Can I highlight it? No. Sense of slay in combat. Right? It's from biblical expression smite to death. First attested, blah, blah, meaning visit distractly. It says, inflict a heavy blow on with the hand, a tool, or a weapon. Smite affects suddenly with deep feeling, cause physical pain or suffering. You see? Afflict. But it says, inflict a heavy blow with the hand, a tool, or a weapon. Basically, he's telling them to bash him. Now go and smite Amalek. So I thought Amalek was Israel. Why would the Lord tell to his people to go kill his own people? Nah, that sounds like a bipolar God to me, right? Which that's not what that's basically showing you Amalek. That's basically showing you Amalek ain't the real Israelites. That's basically showing you that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua only has a group set of people. Everyone ain't his people. Every nation is not his nation. He only deals with one nation. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not. Slay both man and woman, infant and suckling. You see that? Slay them all, man, woman, kids, and babies. Oxes and sheep, camel and ass. He wants them to slay all of those people, even their animals. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. See, he was telling them to bounce. He wasn't dealing with them. For you show kindness to all the children of Israel. You see, they wasn't wicked to the children of Israel. Not like Amalek was. When they came up out of Egypt, see, it says, lest I destroy you with them. He's telling them to go, because you're going to get crazy, unless you want to get killed with them. For you show kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. They left. They're like, we up out of here, nigga. Right? Now, verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive. So he wasn't supposed to do that. He was supposed to destroy that nigga too, but he didn't. That right there was a no-go. He ain't listen. He ain't listen to the head, man. He ain't listen to the father. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. He killed everybody else except Agag. Now Agag is an Amalekite, right? It says it, the king of the Amalekites. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroy utterly. You see, he didn't listen. Now it said, look, then came the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua unto Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments, And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. You see, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua wasn't feeling that. He told Saul, get rid of all of them. Don't spare not one, no animals, nothing. But Saul wanted to be greedy. He wanted to spare the best of the animals, this and that, and he kept Agag alive. Which is not what he commanded him to do. He commanded him to kill them all. So how does God love everyone? I don't get it. He doesn't. He only loves his people. So you see what I'm saying? He doesn't love everyone. So that's a false teaching right there, meaning that's a false doctrine. So right there shows you that these people that are teaching that doctrine don't have no light in them. There's no truth in them. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua choose them for nothing to spread this word, to spread the truth, you know. They're still spiritually dead. All those pastors, whoever's preaching anything that's different from the scriptures, they lost. It's basically like that. Now we're gonna get a hold on Agag. Right? We're gonna jump to Esther. We're gonna go to the book of Esther. This is around the Persian time. Now, Esther 3, verse 10. Chapter 3, verse 10. Yep. Now, let me see. Please let me run, Trump. You're gonna get 10, right? To 11. Now, let me see if I can. Someone sent to king. Okay, yeah. Now, Haman basically was we're gonna get his lineage, but he was an Amalek. He was an Amalekite. He wasn't a Persian. He was just a political advisor for King Ahasuerus. It says right here, and Haman said unto King Ahasuerus. King Ahasuerus was a Persian. Haman was just his right man. He was like a political advisor, you know, someone that advises him on politics and stuff, whatever. There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. He's telling them there's a certain group of people that are dispersed among your kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. You see that? Meaning that the Israelites kept their laws, which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua gave unto them, and it was different from all the other laws of the other nations. Neither keep they the king's laws. You see that now here he goes Agag, this fucking Amalekite, trying to, you know, he's sowing evil seeds in his mind, right? He's telling them, look, yo, they keeping their own laws, they ain't even keeping your law. You're the king, right? Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. They like, man, don't deal with them. Like, you should do something about it. If it verse 9, if it pleases the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. See? Now, Haman is telling them, oh, get these people destroyed. Now, we're going to get where Haman comes from, all right? Haman comes from Agag. Remember, he spared them. So basically, he wants revenge for his people. Remember? Because Israel, in the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel, Saul destroyed all the people except Agag. So he wants revenge. And Haman derives from Agag. That's his descendant. So that will make him an Amalekite. Because remember, Agag was the king of the Amalekites. Now, if it pleases, let me see. And the king, verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. You see? That just shows you right there that Haman was the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. He derives from Hammedatha, and he derives from King Agag. Remember that. The Jews' enemy. Look at that. The real Jews. Because the term Jew is just a short term for the tribe of Judah. That's all it is. That's all it is. Judah. Judah. That's all it is. Now, and verse 10, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee. The people also do with them as it seemeth good to thee. So basically he said, go ahead, do your thing. Right? Now, let me see if I could get Haman, which I already said, the scriptures already said it. He's the son of Hamadah the Agagite. So that already describes him as what? As an Amalekite. But let's get Haman, right? Haman? Let me see. Is it spelled? Haman. Wait. Haman. Okay, Haman. It says Haman, Hebrew for Haman, also known as Haman the Agagite or Haman the Evil, is the main antagonist in the book of Esther, who according to the Hebrew Bible was a grand vizier in the Persian Empire under King Ahasuerus, commonly identified as Xerxes, right? But traditionally equated with Artaxerxes or Artaxerxes II, as his epithet Agagite indicates. Haman was a descendant of Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Some commentators interpret this descent to be symbolic due to his similar personality. You see? So, yeah, he is a descendant of Agag. But let's see what does a grand vizier mean? Let's look it up. Grand vizier means was the title of the effective head of government of many sovereign states of the Islamic world. The office of grand vizier was the first held by. So it's basically a political advisor, right? Which that's the terminology of it. That's like, that's what it is. Political advisor. We could look it up right here. Vizier. See? Also vizier, counselor. You see? From Arabic, wazir, viceroy, literally one who bears the burden of office. Literally, porter, carrier. You see? All right, so that's what it means. Vizier, a high official in the Muslim government, especially in the Ottoman Empire. All right, it's just a high official in it. So he was a high official in this guy's kingdom, in the Persians, right? Now, I'm trying to see where. Okay, let me grab First Maccabees. Additions to Esther. Let me see something. All right, let me grab First Maccabees, right? Because we're going to get some clarity now. This is who is who now, right? A little bit, because a lot of people don't know the history before the Greeks. Or we all know Roman Greek, but we don't know. Basically, what we was just reading now through Exodus, 1 Samuel, Esther was way before the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire, all right? So we're going to go to First Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 6, 1 and 2, right? Now, it says, about that time, King Antiochus, travailing through the high countries, heard say that Elymas in the country of Persia. Let me read that again. About that time, King Antiochus. If you don't know who King Antiochus is, look it up. Travailing through the high countries, heard say that Elymas in the country of Persia, right? This was what he heard. In the country of Persia was a city. And remember, who's the Persians back? I forgot his name. Xerxes. Yeah, but so he's talking about the Persians now. Say that Elymas in the country of Persia was a city greatly renowned for riches, silver, and gold, and that there was in it a very rich temple, wherein were coverings of gold and breastplates and shields, which Alexander son of Philip, the Macedonian king, who reigned first among the Grecians, had left there. So you see how it describes Alexander the Greek, which everybody knows him, Alexander the Great, right? It says he was the son of Philip, the Macedonian king. Now, this happened because obviously there was, you see how in Amalek, Agag was a counselor of that time, the Persian king of what was his name? Haman, right? Was a counselor under the Persian king at that time. That's how they, basically, long story short, this is how they got into the kingdoms. They came in and took over, and that's it. So they came in and took over like they always do now. They do that now. They come in, they take over, and they take territory, and they claim they were those people. Because now he's saying he's the Macedonian king, which in reality, he's not the Macedonian king. He's not even a real Macedonian. But at that time, Greek Alexander conquered many, many lands and nations. So they took over their culture and everything, and they claimed themselves to be Macedonians, right? Because that was the land. So now it mentions Alexander the Great, son of Philip. So let me see something. Let me see if I could get a Philip Philip the Macedonian, right here. Philip to a Macedon. Philip to a Macedon, Greek. Philippos, right, was the king of the ancient kingdom of Macedonia from 359 BC until his death in 336 BC. He was a member of the Argead dynasty, founders and of the ancient kingdom, and the father of Alexander the Great. You see, he was the father of Alexander the Great. So that's why it says right here, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian king, who reigned first among the Grecians, had left there. So that was who was reigning first among the Greeks, Alexander the Great. This is after. Now, we're going to go back to Job, right? So let me go to Job, book of Job. So hopefully, you're getting a little understanding on who is who. Wait. Job, where is that? Job, Salak. Right, Job. Book of Job, chapter 3, verse 6. No. I think it's Joel. Joel, chapter 3, verse 6. Okay, there, Joel, sorry. Now, it says, let me start at 5, 6, and go to 7. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples, right? My goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. He's talking to, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? He's talking to another nation, because what they have done, they have sold the children of Judah and Israel to the Grecians, right? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples. They have taken the gold, silver, and everything, all the nice things from Israel, right? Which belongs to the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temple my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Who's the Grecians? The Greeks. That ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. You see? So we have got sold into the Grecians. That's and we're gonna prove that right here in First Maccabees 8. Let me go to First Maccabees 8. First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 18. It says, and to entreat them that they will take, let me start at 17. In consideration of these things, Judas chose Eupolemus, the son of John, the son of Achaz, and Jason, the son of Eleazar, and sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederacy with them, and to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them. Yoke, what? The thing around their neck. What they put on slaves. There was slaves for they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. You see? So they went therefore to Rome, which was a very great journey, and came into the Senate, where they spoke and said. So Rome was already, this was adapted into the times of the Grecians. This is what they do. Rome took the customs and the gods of the Greeks, just like now America and Britain and all these other places have taken the custom, their culture, their gods, their ways of government, everything from the Greeks, the Romans, so forth and so on. So now it's just a big mix of pagan gods and all other sorts of shit. So that's what they do. This is America now. America has taken the ways of Greek and Rome. That's because they're the same people. Remember that they all derive from Esau. The Amalekites, all those sons he had, all those sons come from Esau. So like the so-called European man, the Portuguese, the French, the Britons, the Russians, the Ukrainians, the fake Jews, the Amalekites, the fake Israelites, all of those, they derive from Esau. They come from Esau. All right. So yeah. And they always have oppressed Israel, the Lord's chosen people, which is the so-called, and I say so-called because we're not really Latinos or blacks or Native Americans. We're really Israelites. Like the Bible says, there is no end of all the people. So let me grab Matthew's. Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under. This was a time when he found out about Yahushua being born. He wanted to kill him. Remember? He wanted to kill the Savior, Hamashiach, the son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is what that's talking about. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise man, was exceeding wroth. He was mad as hell, and sent forth and slew. He killed all the children that were in Bethlehem. Who he killed? He killed all Israelite children. You see how this devil keeps killing us and oppressing us to this very day. They're still doing the same thing. They're still killing us and oppressing us. Really think about it. Sit down and really think about it, man. Right? And in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Now, we're going to jump to Matthew 14. Look what his son did. Matthew 14, verse 1. Now, this is the son of Herod. Because they always name the son. It's like they do it now. Sometimes your name might be I don't know, Tommy, and you have a son and you want to name him Tommy the second. It's the same thing. At that time, Herod, the tetrarch, heard of the fame of Yahushua. This is when Yahushua was doing the miracles and healing his people, and said unto his servants, "This is John the Baptist." He had John the Baptist already. "He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him." For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. You see? So these people have always oppressed us, always have. I mean, look who fills the jails now. The so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native American people. The people, which, like, bro, no one fills the jails like us. No one works for cheap labor like us. Yeah, you might have a couple of rich so-called blacks and stuff, or Spanish, but not as a nation. As a nation, we're lost. We're not reigning no kingdom until Yahushua returns. His elect will establish that new kingdom through the elect, and all the rest of the Israelites, they're just gonna die, man, because they ain't want to turn away from the wicked ways. Like, look, this is how they destroy us, through music. Look what they're doing now. They got the black man dressing as a woman, painting his nails, real feminine. They're doing that to the Spanish man too in the reggaeton. Bad Bunny dressing like a woman, painting his nails. Anuel, who used to rap gangster rap, now the nigga painting his nails. Like Lil Pump, or come on, really look in the industry, man. The movies, everything. They always want to portray a black or Spanish man as a gay man. Look at the shows, look at the movies. It's all there, man. That's how they destroy us. We're destroyed as a people because we have no wisdom and knowledge of this truth. We don't know who we are. But, through the grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, if he chooses you to bring you to this truth, he is going to show you who you really are. You're not what you think you are. You're more than that. You're a chosen nation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the living God. Which is nothing better than that, man. But the point is, what I'm trying to show is that Esau and his descendants has always been oppressing us and killing us. Basically, this is why in Romans chapter 9, verse 13 says what it says. Now that you know who Esau is and who descends from Esau, right? It says this. Let me start at 11 because, look, let me start at 10, get a little clarity, right? Now, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, right? For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, according to election, that means elected, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Now the elder is Esau. When have the elder have served us? Never. There was maybe a little period of time, that's it, when they was brought down, but they recovered. And look at them now. They have grown to be a mighty nation, man. Look what's going on with the wars. They're the ones, man. Listen, tell me when especially Babylon, America. Babylon, America is in every country, in every land. They dominate the world. They dominate the earth. They got the biggest armies. Man, come on. But this is why the end times is now, because when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua returns, he is going to establish his righteous kingdom, and then shall the elder serve the younger, which is Esau. Esau's gonna serve us in slavery. Everything they have done to us, we're going to do it to them, because the Lord said it. He's going to recompense back on their own head everything that they have done to us. And they have done nothing but bullshit wickedness to us, man. And if you don't think so, you're a fucking idiot. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? You tell them that, they'd be like, what? No, that's not right. That ain't my God. Yeah, of course it ain't your God. It ain't the God of the Bible you talking about. You talking about some other God. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God, with Yahweh? God forbid. He's not unrighteous because of that. He knows what he's doing. He knows why he hates Esau, because Esau is the fucking wicked. And he's going to destroy these people, man. But first they have to serve 1,000 years of slavery. Free, hardcore labor. Everything they have done to us is going to get done to them. And I can't wait. Lord willing, I'm part of the elect, and I can't wait. I hope so. Lord willing. You know, all praises. How about Shemi Awashah, that day comes soon. But thank God for his mercy and grace, because, you know, we still need to get our acts together, man. Imagine if he would have came 3 years ago. I would have been lost, man. I wouldn't, you know. So beautiful is his grace and mercy. But look, I'm gonna finish off with this. This is a book that they don't ever read in the church. I remember I always ask the Christian, you know the book of Obadiah? They're like, what? They look at me like I'm crazy. What? All right, let's get Obadiah. The book of Obadiah. This is the vision of Obadiah. Let me start at 1, right? And I'm gonna finish off with this, but I'm gonna just, let me see. I might read the whole. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna read the whole thing. Oh, okay. So let me see. I'm gonna read the whole thing. It's not that long. So it says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai concerning Edom. Now we know who Edom is. It's Esau. Remember. That's why Esau got changed to Edom, for the red pottage. We had heard a rumor, just how Jacob's name got changed to Israel when he wrestled against the angel. Remember? And that's why his descendants, Jacob's sons, are called the Israelites, because they descend from Jacob, from Israel. And Esau, they're called the Edomites, because they descend from Esau, which was Edom. That's it. And like the Lord said, there's 2 separate nations in thy womb. We are 2 separate nations. We're not the same as them. Anyways, the vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. He's talking about Edom. We're going to rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. This is where they get this idea. They know who they are, man. They're the real cavemen. You could go to a museum and you see what cavemen. That's them. They used to live in the caves in Mount Sierra, in the Mount Caucasus up there in Russia. That's what they call Caucasians. I mean, everything gets watered down, of course, but you know, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. These people are prideful, and they think they can be stopped. They think nothing's going to happen to them. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. And they still have that same spirit, because who lives in those big-ass skyscrapers? Those are like fucking caves. Basically, Tower of Babel. If you was to go back into time, that's what it represents. They dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, just like them skyscrapers. Only those, man, they think they're above everything. They want to be on top of everyone, you know. That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? He thinks he cannot get brought down. He thinks he's the all-powerful man. Look how he talks, man. Look at the news. Look at everything. Look how these people talk. They're at war right now, Russia and Ukraine. But sooner or later, you know, Lord willing, sooner than later, World War III is going to be here. You know, obviously, first some other things have to happen. Some other prophecies, like the mark of, you know, the MOTB, mark of the beast, the chip. All of that stuff has to happen. Famine, starvation, deaths. All of that has to happen before World War III. So yeah, like these people, man, we're at those times, right? and he thinks he can't be stopped. He thinks he's gonna reign forever. That's why they always make shows. In the year 2059, we're gonna have this and that. Nigga, you really think you're gonna reign forever? I mean, the scripture says otherwise. Now, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, he exalts himself as the eagle. And who? Look at the flag, man. What's their basically their emblem? It's the eagle, the American bald eagle, right? You look at all their flags; they all have an eagle, right? The Romans had an eagle. This is the same people, man. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord. And what are they doing, man? They're building space habitations up there now. They got a space program. And their nest is among the stars. If you don't think they got anything up there in the sky, like up in the heavens, you know, above the earth, if you don't think they don't have any type of habitation up there, you're crazy. You know, they do. They got little, whatever those things are called, porters, I don't know. But they have, you know, and now they're starting the space program. Look it up. And they're accepting kids and everything. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the great gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? You see? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. And on sooner or later, all these people are going to turn against Esau. The Arabs, what they got going on, the United Nations, right? They're all united. All these people, sooner, little by little, they're all going to turn against Esau. Right? NATO. All of that. Peace, they're all going to fight each other. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in them. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? He's going to destroy these people that are in high stature and high political people. He's going to destroy this whole kingdom. And thy mighty men, O Timon, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. They're all going to get cut off by slaughter. They're all going to get it. Now listen, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Who's Jacob? The so-called blacks. Because he's talking about Esau and Jacob. It might seem like one person, but remember, 2 nations shall come out of thy womb. This right here is referring to the 2 nations. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. What has the white man has fucking slaughtered us, man? The white man has slaughtered the so-called blacks and the Spanish. Since forever, since back then, we are true Israelites. We're still getting slaughtered to this day. The last biggest slaughter was what? The transatlantic slave? Right? When they came to, Columbus and all of that, man, they slaughtered us. And because of that, they're going to get cut off forever, because they have constantly waged war against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's children, the chosen nation. And that day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces and foreigners into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. You see? In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces and foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. You see what they've done to us? Even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. They rejoiced in the children of Judah. Remember, they used to hang the blacks like crazy, especially here in America. Bro, you got caught looking at a white girl, you got hung. Right? In Judah, Judah is the southern tribe. That's the so-called Negroes. And the Spanish, the Latinos, and the Native Americans are the northern tribes. We are the northern tribes. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. You see? Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of calamity. These people have done nothing but wickedness to us, man. Nothing but, nothing but violence to us, man. But let me skip a little bit. Verse 15. For the day of the Lord, and what's the day of the Lord? The day of judgment, when he returns, Yahweh Shai returns. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. And who's the heathen? The heathen, the people that are not the nation of Israel. The Amalekites, the French. So basically those that trace back to Esau. Esau, Edom, right? And the other people too. But Esau, Edom is going to get the worst. The Esau, Edom is going to get it worse than the Chinese, worse than the Persians, worse than the Arabs, worse than the Africans. Worse, they're going to get it the worst than all the other nations. But for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. So if you're not a descendant of Jacob, if you're not an Israelite, you're a heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. So yeah, I just want to get that because it keeps going and going. But if you want to read Obadiah, that talks about the destruction of Esau, Edom, that they're going to be cut off forever. They ain't going to exist anymore. But hopefully that was some edification to who Esau is in today's time. With that being said, Shalom. Until next time, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Shalom.